Moritz, I'm just wondering whether where we are at this rating downgrade cycle, you think that we are bottoming out, and you see restructuring and haircuts at the end game for countries like Greece and Ireland?
Well, on the first question, I wish I could tell you yes, but I have to say no, unfortunately. We have in the European Union, or Monetary Union specifically, we still have a number of countries with negative outlooks or credit watch negative, indicating that the ratings may be going down further. Trigger points for that could be sort of slippage on the programs of consolidation and structural reform, but also decisions that will be taken on the European level later this month regarding the European Stability Mechanism, which in 2013 will succeed the EFSF. And there we are concerned about features that we believe will be part of it, which have to do with the preferred creditor status, effectively subordinating senior bondholders, and also the possibility to introduce conditionality for lending that would entail the restructuring of commercial debt, bonded debt. Both of that we would consider are bad news for bondholders, and as a consequence we would consider downgrading the ratings of those sovereigns that we consider are possible clients of the ESM after 2013. These countries are in the first instance Portugal and Greece, which we consider are the most likely candidates to become clients of this institution. In terms of the haircuts that you asked earlier, we do rate Greece for about a year now in non-investment grade, so clearly default is a possibility. Defaults out of investment grade are extraordinarily unlikely, and we don't think there will be any, and that would answer the question on Ireland, which we think has sort of the economic resilience and the adaptability of the economy, but also the political institutions to face up to the challenge and resolve it intact. And we must remember that Ireland has once before, in the last 15 years, come down from an extremely high debt ratio to be one of the least indebted countries in the EU. This may be not so easy second time around, but we think that the flexibility and the growth potential of the Irish economy will make that happen. Greece is much more difficult for two reasons. First of all, its debt is much higher, and second of all, its growth potential is lower for demographic and structural reasons and a number of other reasons as well. So there, the political pain that would need to be instilled to be dished out for its population is much more prolonged in terms of expenditure cuts and tax rises and restructuring of the labor market and other things. That makes it a more difficult political endeavor, and therefore, in our view, the likelihood of it not being resolved in a non-disruptive way is sort of bigger, and therefore a restructuring could happen. We still believe this is not a foregone conclusion, as many think. If it happens, we would assume that the recovery would be around 30 to 50% only because of the high level of the debt burden to begin with.
And what about Spain? Concerned about Spain overrated?
Spain, we think is again, there's lots of shades of grey in the periphery anyway. There's always the temptation and the tendency to judge everything sort of in one go. Spain has, over the last few months, been fairly successful, I would say, in actually stepping up its reform efforts and its determination to bring forward the consolidation that they're planning. It's difficult for a country like Spain, which is fairly federal and decentralized, but I think the now visible political commitment, combined with the still relatively low debt ratio that Spain has, makes this sort of going forward sort of a country with stronger creditworthiness than the likes of Portugal, for example, or Ireland, let alone Greece.